Okay, so I see. Yeah, I actually see the screen, right? Okay, now
Right.
rather than using it as a file, okay, so so the first
Mhm.
thing that you'll have to understand is look at your URL, okay, or you look at the path that you have given to the file to the image. It is using the file protocol, okay. So it is file
Mhm.
colon slash slash and then the path to the image, right?
Right.
Yeah, but since we will be using a dynamic web page or like a web page, we'll be using HTTP. Okay, so we wouldn't actually use the file protocol, but we'll use HTTP protocol. Okay, so the first thing would be take out the terms underscore use dot jpng file, I mean JPG file. Okay, and copy it to, I mean copy it inside your. So he says, can you please send the? Okay, so give me one second. Munjal, give me 1 second, okay?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Okay. So the first thing, um, okay. So can you go
Give
back?
me a second.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I cannot paste it. Never mind.
No, you
Um,
cannot paste the file.
okay.
Yeah.
I thought I
So
can.
no. So okay. So look at it this way. Your virtual system is completely different from your guest. I mean, like the real system. Okay. Windows is different from Ubuntu. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Though it is a process, I mean, again, it's just like any other process, right? You cannot actually share information between two independent processes. I mean, if it's a dependent process running by like a main process, you can actually transfer data from one process to another process. I mean, even with any
Okay.
regular system process. I mean, since you have used C, with C, C++,
Mhm.
or Python, what we can do is we can actually spin a process, or even C sharp and Java, by the way.
Okay.
Hey, Munjal, I'm sorry. I'll have to take this call. Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry,
Go
man.
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hey guys, I'm very sorry. I actually have a cousin who came to US and I did not get a chance to talk to him for like the last 2 weeks, so I had to take this call now. Yeah. So
Round side.
yeah. So Munjal. So what I was saying was,
Yeah.
rather than using the file protocol, okay. So we cannot even use HTTP protocol because we will use
Oh,
HTTP, but we will not use the this URL. Okay. You'll have to move the terms underscore use.jpg file into the document root. Okay. Remember, browser and the web server, or not even browser, the web server would only have access to your document root, okay, which is the slash www, slash var slash www slash training folder, or whatever your document root is. Okay.
right.
Yeah, how do you load this page? Do you load, do you say www.training.com slash, okay,
Yeah, I made it like use.com/welcome.php.
right. So what you'll have to do is you'll have to move the image file, okay, into the document root of use.com, okay.
Right.
Yeah. And see
So that's
what,
what I'm asking, like how I'm gonna do it.
how, okay,
How I'm actually going to do it because I downloaded it in my desktop, right?
yeah,
Now I don't know like where the folder is. So I mean, if I have a folder,
okay,
uh, then I can basically, I guess, just copy and paste it over there.
right, right. Yeah, so let's actually look at how you do uh, with the with the terminal, okay. So let's actually look at that.
Mhm.
So let me see if I can add a new, say, terminal window. Open tab. Can you enter your password?
You can do it. Ubuntu PHP.
Oh, okay. Ubuntu PHP. Perfect. So now let's clear the thing up. So and the image is on desktop.
Yes, images and desktop.
Yeah. See, for some reason I actually have a white screen. Do you have your go-to window? Go-to meeting windows open by any chance?
Yeah, I do actually.
Yeah. Can you close them? See, this is like a bug with
Yeah.
GoToMeeting, man. If you actually have those windows open, there'll be like a white screen that will show up. So there's another GoToMeeting window right in the center. Right where your mouse is. Ah,
Okay.
awesome. So, okay. So here is your image, right? Now the next thing is going to be to figure out where the document root is. Okay. The way we'll find out where the document root is by going to Apache 2. Okay. LS-l. We'll go into sites available. Okay. Now there should be a um, yeah. See, there should be a what is it? There should be a like a virtual host file for use. Okay. Now let's actually open up this
Right.
virtual host. Okay. In the virtual host, okay, this is the document root for use.com var www use.
Right.
Okay. So whenever you're,
Right.
whenever you do not have an idea, or whenever you're given like a new working system, it is always good to uh, open up the virtual host, and by opening up virtual host you would know what is a document root. Okay. Now in use.com you already have pics, right? So just so, it's more of a naming convention. What you would name, what you can name your folder, it has to be images, okay, not pics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that is so, the naming convention is images, css or styles, or js or javascript, okay, or scripts.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'll actually create those folders for you. This is just like the convention. So you can say make directory images, Okay, and then make directory. Okay, uh, styles. Okay, this is one way of handling it. I mean, if you use styles, you'll have to use scripts. Okay, or you can
Okay.
use oh, oh, or you can use CSS. Okay, if you use CSS, you'll have to use JavaScript or JS. Okay, so let's use this convention. Make
Right.
directory CS and then make directory JS. Okay, so this is the folder where all your uh, JavaScript, CSS, and
JavaScript.
would live. Here, all the CSS would live, and here, all the images would live. Okay, so now let us actually copy. Uh, uh, yeah, let's actually copy the image from desktop. What is that called? Terms. Yeah, into
Yeah.
images. Okay. Now, what you can do is you can open up welcome.php. Oh, it's already there, right? So let me quit. Interesting. How? Yeah, you'll go to the other tab, and in here, what you'll say is you wouldn't even have to give the whole source. Okay, because the browser builds the source. So all you'll have to do is you'll don't I? See, for some reason, it looks like. Oh, you know what, man? Okay, I see what the problem is. Let me actually close it up here. Okay, you will have to install apt install Vim. I don't think you have Vim. Okay, so
I
Vim is
actually did.
Vim is there. Then for some reason, it was actually acting a little weird. Okay, never mind. Yeah, because it wasn't actually taking the delete command correctly. That was surprising. Okay, yeah. So what we'll do is we'll just say images slash terms underscore use dot png. Okay, the reason we say terms underscore I mean terms slash I mean sorry images slash terms underscore use dot png is okay
Because we
both
have that image in
in the same directory. Yeah, see
right.
here. I'm sorry. So let me show you again. Yeah, see, welcome.php and images, both of them are on the same level. Okay, so when the file loads, it would actually look for images, which is in the same directory, and then look for terms underscore use.png inside the images directory. Yeah, inside the images directory. Okay, now, so let me actually one last time go back and write my changes. Okay, looks like they are done. And now let's actually load the file. I cannot see. See again, this what is it? If the file did the file load? I mean, I cannot actually see. I mean, I see a lot of white space.
Yeah, file actually loaded, but like it doesn't really. I mean, the image doesn't really load it though.
Image doesn't load. Okay, so let's actually go to the network. Can
No.
you close the like? Is your
Can you?
GoToMeeting?
Yeah. Can yeah.
Yeah,
Right. Right. It just came out automatically. Yeah.
yeah,
There you go.
yeah. So now let's actually open up network, and in here, let's actually load and see if the image is loading or not. Okay,
Click one more time. I don't think it actually clicked.
doesn't look like images are loading. Okay, yeah. So now. What is happening here? Was not found. So probably is that like a bad name? 'Cause that is all that I can think of.
Hmm.
Oh, it's JPG. Okay, that's the problem. I
JPG.
yeah,
Okay.
I actually put in PNG. Okay, perfect.
There we go. Yep.
Yeah. So now what you'll have to do is you'll probably have to use something say like Photoshop or something similar to that to make sure that you make it small so that it scales.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So
And
now,
one more question with that.
yeah,
It's like when we make a virtual host like use.com, which I actually made it. Is there any way which like people just write down the use.com and it will directly direct to the use.com/welcome.php? I think it has to be done in the host page what we are making, but I was not really sure how to do that. So just asking.
as in making what is it? Welcome.php the default page.
Yeah, like if people write down the use.com, it directs directly to the welcome.php page.
Yeah. So you can actually do that with an Apache redirect. Okay. So the Apache redirect would
Okay.
be to see if there is anything after use.com. Okay. So you would actually look for anything after the trailing slash on use.com. If there is nothing, at that point you would actually say that rewrite engine on apache.com, rewrite engine on, and redirect URL is going to be welcome slash welcome.com dot php.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. See,
okay.
try and see if you can actually find the rewrite. Okay, for Apache, it's a very simple thing. It's more like three
Yeah.
lines. Okay,
Hmm.
try it out. If you're having any issues with it, we can probably what is it? We can take a look at it on Tuesday. Okay, but
Yeah,
it's
that's
but
fine.
it's a
Yeah.
good.
It's just a
It's
question I want to ask.
yeah. It's one of those good questions, man. I mean, honestly, because as a web developer, it is always important for you to understand what is happening under the hood. Say like what's up with MySQL, what's up with Apache, what's up with caching and all this kind of
Mhm.
stuff. So it's a good question. It's a good question to actually research. Okay.
Okay, I'll try with that.
Okay. So let me take the
Okay.
presenter. Like I'll make myself the presenter. Okay. Hey Rajan, how are you?
Good.
Okay. All right. So here, Nirajan, I'll ask the first question here. I actually sent you the like I actually used this email ID that Prashant was using. Okay, is this a good? Is this the right email ID or is something is or should I use another email
I
address?
no, you have misspelled one letter over there.
Which one?
It's Nirajan. It's not. It's Nirajan actually. It's not Niranjan.
Ah, see, that's the problem. Okay, it actually wasn't me by the way. It was Prashant. I'll actually
uh,
ask him to change the name, and I'll actually uh,
no, no. I think if you look at below, the one that Prasant sent, it's the correct one. Yeah, that's the one.
yeah, but this one is also
He
sent with
probably didn't have a tea on that day.
yeah. I mean, even this one was Prashant by the way. Here from, but yeah, never mind.
uh,
I'll actually make sure that that one's changed. Okay,
okay.
perfect. So, Nirajan, let me begin by asking if you have any questions.
No,
No? Perfect.
no.
If not, let's actually close this out and let's begin with today's session. Okay, so today what we'll do is we'll actually continue what we are working with on Ajax. So let me actually begin by asking, has anybody tried making an Ajax request? Okay, I'll take that answer as a no. Okay, so yeah, go ahead and try making an Ajax request. Okay, it involves end-to-end stuff, so it is always fun. Okay, so here today what we'll do is we will actually have more than one Ajax controls. Okay, and we'll actually see how yeah, I mean how we can actually incorporate uh, some data into our Ajax request. Okay, so let's actually close this. Okay, so let's close this out too. Um, because we have already seen the case where we have one Ajax widget or one Ajax control. Now let's actually see cases with multiple Ajax controls. Okay, here we'll say cd var training Ajax. Okay, so now let me open up index.html again. Okay, now the first thing is that I actually have a poll. Okay, which actually is saying the I mean which actually is displaying that what is it displaying, yeah, which is actually polling for what is the gender of the user. Okay, once that is done, we are actually submitting and there is some data that actually shows up. Okay, another another Ajax thing could be something completely different where we would actually display some kind of weather information. Okay, or some kind of what is it, market information. Okay, so let's actually take a look at cnn.com and get an idea of what are all the Ajax widgets that they use. Okay, use grab Salkadabo. So there are, I mean, see, these two are Ajax widgets. Okay, one of them is the weather, the other one is market information. Okay, the interesting part is rest of it looks like, yeah, rest of it is regular data. That's a synchronous request. Okay, now let's actually create, say, like a weather widget. Let's say dev id is equal to weather. Okay, here this again is going to be another, I wouldn't say a form, but it should represent something like a form, because we will have to wait for the user to enter, what is it, we'll have to wait for the user to enter the zip code. Only after that can we uh, add anything, I mean make a request to the server. Okay, so we'll say id is equal to weather question, what is your, or we'll say enter your zip code. And here we'll have another div. Okay, input type is equal to text because it's just a because it is just a basic text input which would be zip code. Okay, we'll actually take that information and go from there. Input type equal to text, name is equal to zip, code id is equal to zip code, input button, output type equal to button, name is equal to whether submit. The reason that I'm actually starting to namespaces, here we have multiple buttons which are submitting the data. Okay, so at this point it is good to actually start namespacing the submit button as to what type of submit is it. Okay, and the next thing is going to be value. Let's say get weather. Okay, so again, the beautiful thing about JavaScript is everything is unobtrusive in its way. Okay, so the way we make it unobtrusive or make them independent of any other aspect is by assigning callbacks, right? We'll actually assign a callback to the weather submit button. Click. Okay, so whenever the weather submit button is clicked, we'll actually fire this. Sorry, now we'll actually fire this callback. Okay, we will say var zip code is equal to dollar. Okay, and the way we'll actually identify or get the value of a text box is by giving in the ID. We'll say kind of forget what is that zip code. Yeah, we can just use dollar $val. Okay, and once we have that, we will say again we can use dollar dot ajax URL. So since we are actually going on a procedural way, let's actually create another file. Okay, but going forward, hopefully today itself, let's actually what is it, build like a small API. Okay, which would be like a function based API. Okay, and that should actually fetch the data. Okay, and since we are only passing a zip code, we need not hide the zip code. You can actually send it directly. Okay, we'll say data. So that's why we are using query string. Okay, zip code, zip code.
Sai,
Yeah,
uh, can you please clean rest of the data and just do this weather so that it will be easier to understand?
why?
The other, it would be easier, I think.
I mean, no, the reason that I'm actually making it this way is to show you all that everything is independent. Okay, I mean, like most of the web pages have multiple Ajax calls. Okay,
Okay.
uh, yeah, I mean, the only again, I don't want you all to get confused, but these are the kind of applications that you'll have to see on a regular basis. Okay,
Okay.
uh,
Okay.
yeah, so I mean, again, Nirajan, if you get confused at any point, please ask me and I'll actually clear the confusion. Okay,
Okay.
yeah, Yeah, but I mean the sole point of this exercise is to have multiple AJAX calls which are fired by independent independent actions or independent events. So let's say dot done. Okay, so we'll say function again. Response would be the data that's coming back from the server. Okay, and what we'll do is we'll actually replace this weather information, okay, this whole data, okay, with the weather that is coming out. Okay, so let me replace this here and then we'll come back and revisit what exactly happened. Okay, HTML is response. Okay, and the HTML that we are changing for would be the div, okay, that carries that weather information, which is weather. Okay, so let's begin from the HTML. Okay, so the big change that we made today was to add the weather div. Okay, what does the weather div have? Which is this part. It has I mean it goes with the weather information. It contains the weather information. To begin with, it will have a paragraph div which contains the question, which is asking to enter the div. I'm sorry, enter the zip code. Then there is a text box which allows the user to enter the zip code, and then there is a button which we are using that button to trigger the event, the click event. Okay, now the idea of that button is weather submit. Okay, and the div that contains all information is the weather div. Okay, now what we are doing up top is we are binding an event to the weather submit button. Okay, on click of that button we are fetching the zip code. Okay, once we fetch the zip code we are firing the ajax call. Okay, in the ajax call it's pretty simple. We are actually sending it to the get weather.php file. Okay, and from there on we will actually rely on the server to help us out with that. Okay, so let's actually load this page on the web page and see how does it react, or how does it look. Training.php index.html. Okay, hmm. Doesn't look like I've actually saved it. Did I save it? Looks like I've saved it. Yeah, so I did not save it before, but I've saved it now. Okay, the first thing we'll do is we'll actually touch it up with a little what is it, with a little CSS. Let's say margin top is 20 pixels. Okay, and it looks like the width is already 100%. Okay, so this is again, let's make the position absolute. Okay, and let's say the width is 100%. 100%. Okay, okay, so now it actually looks a little better. Copy. Weather. Damn. Okay. So now what we'll have to do is we'll have to enter a div, or enter something, and we'll hit get weather. Okay. So there are a few things to verify. The reason that I've actually entered some bad text is to say that there can be mischievous users, okay, who will punch in bad data. Okay. So let us actually take this chance and verify as to what kind of data can people enter. Okay. See, in this case, people really do not have an option. Okay. So they'll have to choose one of these. I mean, obviously they can actually go in. I mean, see, again, even this is not safe enough since we are actually talking about it. So what we'll do is we'll actually change this to, okay, I mean, there are actually people who actually do this kind of stuff, okay, and they do it just for fun. Okay, they just want to mess with us. Okay, and then they'll actually go in here and they can actually hit submit. Okay, if they hit submit, let's see what happens. Okay, when they hit submit, it actually goes to hello woman. Okay, but if I actually refresh the page, I actually chose man. Okay, again, let me show you all what is going on. I'll go in here. I'm actually changing it to what the fuck. Okay, and I'm actually submitting the data. Okay, technically, if it were a man, it should actually show man, but the reason that it would show woman is we are actually using a else, I mean, a else condition. So let's split it vertically. Sudo bash cd var www. Okay, see, we are actually using else. Okay, that's why. And let's actually also post the data, print the data, and see how does anything change. Let's print the data. Okay, I'll say, I said WTF, and I'll say submit. And if we actually go to the net tab, we can actually look at the response. Okay, see, gender is, okay, see, gender is WTF. Now assume, just assume that you actually are storing this data in a database. Okay, if you store this data in a database, at that point, if you do not verify for man or woman, WTF would actually go into the database, and this is a very scary thing. We'll actually go through this in the SQL injection and cross-site scripting classes, but it is very important for us to check the data that is going in. So that's why what we'll do is we'll actually take a look at how can we, okay, how can we look for certain data. And also, other thing that I did notice was this div was actually flying up here. Okay, the way we can handle that is by adding a ghost div element. Okay, did you all notice that this div was actually going up here, and the reason for that is there is a lot of space that was created here which actually was pulling this widget up into this block. Okay, so the way we'll handle it is by using a ghost div. Okay, I'll show you why we call that as a ghost div. So let's say div, So it's a class, so we'll say dot clear, and we'll say clear both, and also say we'll have to display block in here. Okay, so let's actually go back and see if that made a difference. Okay, now I'll say man, I'll say submit. Oh, it still is flying up. So that's not right. I mean, the reason that it is going up is the height that this widget was taking is pushing this div into this one. So let's actually see. Refresh it before you use. No, I mean, if we refresh it, we are beating the purpose, right? If you refresh it, at that point we will be beating the purpose. So one other way of handling this would be, okay, by giving this yeah, I mean, absolute positioning for what? This one. This one already has absolute positioning. I mean, it's a height issue. So here, this one already has an absolute position. So let's, I mean, I don't know if you're asking me to make it relative. But if I make it relative, at that point, it is going to follow this guy. Okay. Which again beats the other purpose. So one thing that we can do is to give, yeah. So give me one second. Yeah. Would be by, so let's actually inspect this element, and so normally I should actually see the height, which I'm not able to see. 146. Okay, so let's actually make this height 146 and see if that makes a difference. So it's going to be pole height is 146 pixel, or let's make it 150. Okay, at that point the height would be as it is. See, at that point it would stay where it is. Okay, so we need not change anything with the positioning, it is just a height issue. Okay, so now what we'll have to do is, the first thing is to come up with the getweather.php file. Okay, it should actually check for the zip code, and then it would actually take the next step and get the data for that zip code. Okay, um, yeah, so let's actually close this out. Let's say vi get weather.php. Okay, php dollar weather is equal to, so well, let's actually use ternary operator for this one. So we'll say if not empty, if not empty, dollar underscore get zip code. Okay, this has to be dollar zip code, not weather. Dollar underscore get zip code. Okay, else it has to be -1. Okay, so the first thing is going to be, if dollar zip code is equal to -1, it means that we can echo no zip code. The next thing is going to be, we'll have to verify that dollar zip code. Okay, we'll have to verify zip code is a number, first thing. And since we are only working on US, zip code is 5 digits. Now, can you all tell me what is a what is the way that we can verify these two conditions? Okay, so the quick way, yeah, we can do prig match obviously, where we would actually say that it is matching to D, which would be a number. And if we actually want to, I mean, the other way is going to be, we can say string length of zip code is greater than, I mean, no, is equal to 5. Okay, that's one condition. The first condition is going to be is numeric. Okay, if the zip code is a number, okay, remember, if the data is coming from a text box, it will never be an integer, it would always be a string. Okay, and what is numeric does is it actually verifies if the data that's coming in is of the type number. Okay, at that point we can say we can go to the next step, and irrespective of what zip code it is, we'll say that it is sunny. Okay, just to keep it simple, the zip code is dollar zip code and the weather is sunny. We'll just keep it simple for this one. Okay, in the next few sessions though, we'll actually write a small API, okay, or write a few calls where we'll actually fetch the data from weather.com. Okay, so that will be an exciting case. Okay, we can either use weather.com, or if there is another website that you all prefer, we can even use that. Okay, uh, but yeah, we'll actually fetch the data via an asynchronous call, okay, from a different website. So those are actually called cross domain asynchronous calls. So those are pretty awesome. Okay, so now since everything looks like it is there, let's actually go ahead and fire the call. Okay, here none of them, so both of these are ajax calls. Okay, and none of them have any dependency on another call. Now we'll say 77082. See, it's 77082 and the weather is always sunny. Okay, now let's actually refresh the page. We'll say 06906 Stamford. That is where I am at this point. So I'll say get weather. The weather is not sunny, it's a lie, it's actually cold. But since the API is not smart enough to verify that behavior, it is giving us that data. Lastly, let's just give in something. At that point, it would give us the wrong behavior. One other thing that I forgot to add, okay, is the else condition for this one. Okay, so we'll say else not a zip code, right? At that point, it's not a zip code. So there are two conditions for us to check. One is to give in some random data, and the other one is to give a zip code which is more than 5 digits. Okay, so let's actually verify those two cases. Let's refresh. Okay, and then we can say um, let's give a zip code that is from India, and it's 6 digits and it's not 5 digits. Okay, I'll say, oh, so I have a error. Oh yeah, I'll have to give a, see, I mean, this is the issue if you actually work with more than one languages at a time. In Python, this would actually work. Okay, obviously there wouldn't be these braces, but yeah. No, let's actually go back. Let's refresh. Let's say 50072. Okay, get weather. It says it's not a zip code, which is right, and the reason for that is there's 6 digits in there. And now let's actually give A, B, C, D, E. Okay, these are 5 characters, but they are not numeric. Again, it says it's not a zip code. So here's another important thing. It is always important to break your code by yourself before somebody else breaks it for you. Okay, with the kind of um development practices that we have, there would be a hardcore testing team all the time. And the hardcore testing team, what it does is all their job is to break the code that you write. So it is always important for you all to break your code by yourself. Okay, at that point, that would actually give you a chance to fix the code by yourself. Okay, nobody else will have to complain saying that your code did not work. You can fix it by yourself. Okay, now let's actually take a look at how multiple calls can actually be made from the same widget. It will be 77082. Let's say get weather. Okay, it is sunny, and now I'll say woman. Okay, so see, this is another thing. Okay, where I should have checked that there should be data, which I did not check, and that's why I'm getting an error. Okay, all I did was hit submit, and that gave me the error. Okay, and that pushed the data into the next line. So now let's actually say man, submit. It says say man, the poll is complete, and I'll say 77082 get weather, and the zip code is so and so. The most important thing for you all to understand is that we have made multiple Ajax calls from the same page. Okay, that's the first takeaway. The second takeaway is, irrespective of what method you use, you can make any number of Ajax calls. Okay, here you're using a post the first time, and then you're using get the second time. Okay, so what kind of method do you use is irrelevant. Okay, they are independent, and when I say independent, they are completely independent. Nobody, one control doesn't have a dependency on any other control, which means that if one control fails, okay, it doesn't mean that the other control will also fail. Okay, so let's verify that. I refresh the page. Okay, now I'll actually submit. I get a notice saying that the top Ajax control failed. Now I'll actually enter 77082. This one works. Okay, the first one failed, but the second one worked. Okay, so the takeaway here is, if one Ajax call fails, that doesn't mean that all Ajax calls would fail. Okay, Ajax, like I've said, each call is independent. Okay, and they operate independently. Now, Nirajan, does that help? Does that make it clear as to why I was having multiple Ajax controls? Okay, so now here, let me quickly ask you all if there are any questions. No, perfect. So at this point, let's actually take like a 5 or 10 minute break. Okay, and then we'll actually get back to the rest of the Ajax stuff. Okay, guys, are you back? Oh yeah, sure. It is copy. So you will say copy from host location to destination location, or destination location. See, destination itself is a location. So let's actually say current location. Okay. Yep. Yep. It didn't copy. Does that image exist? Okay, so the image exists. So try putting a slash after images. See, I don't think that would make a difference, but I think I'm guessing that the file is not in that location then, because copy in itself would do it. I mean, double check that the extension is same, the name is same. If everything is correct, add a slash to the end of images. So say images slash, and also make sure that you have the right permissions, because if you do not have right permissions, you cannot copy to the folder. It says, I mean, it depends on where you are. I mean, right? See, you are already inside images. Okay, so you'll have to, yeah, you'll have to do cd to come out of images and then use the command. Because if you are inside images, it cannot see the images folder. So if you are in this location, no, no, no. If you are in the images, you'll have to use dot. Dot is current images. I mean, dot would be the current folder. So, I mean, if you are inside images, you will have to do this command. Copy. If you are inside images, you'll have to do that. Dot is current folder. Yep. Wow. Up. Nirajan, are you back? Tu- tu- tu. Yeah, I mean both. I mean both are pretty much the same, right? When you say data, put data, what you can begin by doing is uh you can actually start by making it static. Okay, where you will actually add in 10 or 15 universities directly. The next thing is going to be making it dynamic, where you will actually fetch the data from database. Yeah, see, the first thing is going to be a proof of concept.
Yeah, but I mean, like, do you want me to do like? I mean, Google has like a lot of different things coming out from its database, right? So I mean, I probably don't have that many. So I mean, if you're thinking California University, and if I didn't think it, I won't be it won't be in my database. So when you go with the California, so I don't think it will auto complete that. That's what my question was.
Yeah, I mean, again, Munjal, don't worry about making it big. The first thing is going to be, you have to make it work. Okay. I mean,
Okay.
honestly, I mean, yeah, there is no comparison between what like you will do in like 3 or 4 days and what Google has built in like 10 or 15 years, right? So all that you'll do is, if somebody puts in C, okay, what you'll have to do is you'll have to say select stuff from universities. Okay, I'm sending you the query where name
Okay.
like, okay, name like C. Okay, so that would be the first query if somebody puts in C. Okay, then
Hmm.
I'm finding a way to copy this one. Okay, when somebody puts in CA, okay, what you'll do is you'll have to do like
Hmm.
CA. Simple. Okay, so at that point this would give you 10 number 10, the first query might give you 15 things. The second query will give you 5 things. Okay, all that you'll have to do is just display the
Right.
list of those 10. Okay, once you're done with that, okay,
Okay.
once you're done, if you want to like expand your application, you'll have to make them clickable. Okay, once you click on say California State University, okay, you'll have to what is it, show a profile page, say like a small, the like the name of it, who's the dean, what are the programs, like a quick
Okay.
university research search engine. Yeah, and I mean,
Okay.
trust me, man, I mean, this application is not just like a small proof of concept thing, but I don't think a university profile database exists, you know. So you can even build
Hmm.
a personal website from this one.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I thought because I mean I haven't seen any website which has all the university data comes together in one website and people can search everything from that.
Yep.
So I mean I'm thinking big, so probably I'm always try to make a big. But yeah, as you said, like start making small and then you go for a big. But yeah, that's my mind. Always go for something good, which I really can do it. I mean, in my thought, it's like I can do it, but really I don't.
Yep. I understand. I mean, but yeah, again, like they say, take baby steps and get to the long jump. Okay.
Yeah.
uh,
Okay, so I'm just making a static page right now
yeah.
until I actually make a database and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, take it slow. The first day, probably make sure that the static page is working. The second day, you can build the database. Okay. The third day, you can actually start querying the database. Okay. I mean, if you actually do
Okay, then my first day work is over.
yeah, I mean, yeah, but if you still have time, go to the next step. I mean, the reason I say this is
Yeah.
if you can finish that in 2 or 3 days, okay, at that point, look at how much
Mhm.
progress you have made, right? That is important thing, because how much progress do you make
Right.
and how quickly do you progress is always the counter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm actually waiting for Nirajan to come back. Once Nirajan is back,
Yeah.
let's actually continue with the session. I sent him like a private message asking. Oh, wait, he's here. Okay, perfect. Okay, sorry, man. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll actually make a call to weather.com. Okay, so now let's actually see how weather.com works. Excuse me. Okay, now what we are going to get into is pretty much I won't say hardcore PHP, but it's good PHP. Okay, so you'll actually be using server side stuff to fetch the data. Okay, now what I want you all to look at is here it says weather.com weather today Houston plus Texas plus 77082. I don't know what colon 4 and colon US mean, but I'll take this out and I'll actually try and see if something like this works. Okay, perfect, that worked. Right now, let's see if there is an API for that. I've never used their API, but here we have something called a weather API. Let's actually try that out. Okay, okay. Now what we'll do is we actually have two formats. One is XML and the other is JSON. So this obviously is going to be a good start. Oh, we'll have to sign up. I'm not a big fan of signing up. So let's skip it. Other.com. Or you know what? Let's actually use CNN's profile. Oh wow. Accurate. Yeah, I'll actually check that in a bit. Let's see this guy. Okay. So the first thing that we'll have to obviously do is to clear everything up. Clear. Let's say edit 77082 go. Okay. For some reason, so let me clear this too. And now I'll say edit location 77082. Yeah, it looks like they're actually making a script call for this data. That's not good. So we cannot actually use their source. Okay, see here, they're actually making a script call to get the data, and this is the data that's coming back. So we cannot actually use their source. So let's actually see if AccuWeather provides something. AccuWeather.com. Okay, never mind. I mean, what I was trying to do was make a make a specific call to some website to fetch the data, and the plan was to use something like curl, okay, or something of that sort to fetch the data. But let's go back to weather.com. Let's say Houston. Why does it take so long? Oh really? Okay, let's try that. Yahoo weather. Oh right, fair enough. Niranjan, what is W? How it works on yours? Hmm. Uh, can you send me the URL that works on yours? Oh, that's it. .com/4 like location. It says like did you give like it gives me codes. Oh wow, really? Oh yeah. So I'll say Houston city not found. Okay, so let's Houston city not found. Hmm. So let's see. What else? Boston. Uh, Niranjan, I mean Nirajan, can I make you the presenter for a bit? You send me an email. Okay. Hmm. Okay, so you are getting the same error too. So you're getting a weather error, right? It is saying city not found. Okay, so we are all getting the same error. So that's good. So how the URL was not found? Yahoo API weather. Oh, I see. Okay. So W here is something different. It's not a zip code. Okay. Now how would we find the OIDs? Okay, so this is the thing for New York City. Let's actually copy, paste. Nice. Okay, so I'll send this over to you all. So this is a working API. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll actually get this data. Okay, the other thing that we might have to do is get a OID. Yeah, OID to location. I don't even know what OID is. Ah, 7708. What the hell? I'll say Houston. Oh, sweet. Okay, so this is the one for this one. Okay, perfect. So now we already know that this thing works. So let's actually take this. This would be for New York City. Let's actually copy. Okay. Now what we'll do is we'll actually close this up. Clear. Exit. No. Sudo bash training. Let's create another directory. Ajax weather. Okay. Inside Ajax weather, let's begin by creating our index.php file, and this index.php file would actually get the data. Okay, so let me clear this page up. Okay, now the first thing that we'll have to do here is to get the data. Okay, so let me ask you all, do you all have any idea about XML? Okay, it's extensible markup language. Okay, okay, so XML is extensible markup language. The main reason that people use extensible markup language or XML is for data transfer or data exchange or for data feeds. Okay, all these pretty much are the same. They are pretty much used interchangeably. Okay, now the first thing that we'll have to look and work here is to create the URL. Okay. And once we create the URL, okay, let's actually see what exactly is happening here. Let's again take this URL, refresh the page. Okay. Now what we have here is what we have here is, let's actually go into the net tab in this page. Okay, so let's actually look for response headers. Yeah, so let me actually refresh this page and open up properties. Oh, hang on, and open up, I'm sorry, Firebug. If we go in here, um, here, if you look at the content type of the response, okay, if you look at the content type of the response, it is text slash HTML, text slash HTML. That's why we have a HTML page in here. But when we go in here, okay, when we look at the response here, it is text slash XML. It's not text slash HTML. So the first thing that we'll have to understand is the data that's coming back is not HTML data, but the data that's coming back is XML data. Okay. So the first thing that we'll have to do is we'll have to find a way to fetch all that data. Okay. Because when we actually are loading this page, what happens? A file from a remote server, okay, is downloaded to your local browser, okay, and it is actually stored, okay, and it is actually stored, give me 1 second. Yeah, and it is actually stored, uh, yeah, it is actually stored in the temporary storage. Okay, why do we have a different view in the browser? What are you asking for? I mean, I did not get you.
The link that you sent me,
Which one? Yeah,
if I click on it, it gives me this one. Yeah, you can
yeah,
see all these things in your browser, but if I click on that, I get, all the codes like XML codes,
yeah, it is an XML page. Oh, okay,
but I
why?
don't see.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
yeah, so my browser has something called as an RSS reader. Okay,
Maybe.
yeah, so I mean, probably what you'll get is you'll probably get
Yeah, like,
something like that. Is
uh-huh.
that right? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's correct.
yeah. The reason for that is I have something called an RSS reader. That is the only reason why I'm actually rendering the RSS. Okay,
Uh,
or the XML, to be honest. Okay, but if not, that is the only difference. Okay,
okay.
yeah. So now the next question is going to be, we agree, okay, we agree that yeah, we agree, yeah, sorry, so we agree that the file has to be downloaded to a temp location in order to render it on the browser. But in this case, what we want to do is we want to go through this data and extract some data out. The way we will do that is by uh, looks like my something's, yeah, so we'll actually use uh, a function called file get contents dollar URL. Okay, and let's actually print that data and see what happens. Now let's actually go Go to a browser. Yeah, it's better if you go to a browser. Let's go in here. Let's go in here. It is Ajax weather slash index.php. Okay, so now we are able to render the page. Okay, but rendering the page is not good enough. Okay, what we want is this information, 68 Fahrenheit. Okay, so let's actually see how can we get that data. Okay, since the data that's coming back is XML data, what we can do is we can actually use something called simple XML. So let me look it up. Simple XML. Simple XML. Yeah, so we'll actually be using simple XML type. Okay, and we'll actually be ingesting our simple XML feed, okay, into the simple XML element, and from there we'll actually take it forward, and the function to do that would be simple XML load string. Okay, let's go in here, simple XML load string. Okay, what it would give us is an XML object, or like a regular object, which would allow us to fetch data one after the other. Okay, let's go in here and let's refresh. See, at this point we are able to get some get an object. Okay, get an we're able to convert the XML data into a PHP object. And now let's actually use echo pre so that we can actually understand the data that is coming back. Echo pre. Okay, nice. Okay, so now it looks better, right? So this is again of type simple XML element. Okay, and what we want to do is we want to get the weather information of New York. Now the first and foremost thing that we'll have to do is to find out where the where exactly is the weather information. I don't see it, by the way. Let's see 68. See, I don't see 68 weather. So no, that's not good. If they do not give us the weather in this weather information, what is the use of it? Hmm. So let's actually look at this. So that is where they're pulling the data from. Man, that's not good. Oh, yep, that is where they're pulling it from. See, man, this is one other reason why I hate Yahoo. They actually jack up everything. Idiots. They are giving us something. They should actually give that to us. I don't know what's the deal with going it this way. Yeah. Okay. So what we'll have to do is we'll have to, I mean, if you want to get this item, okay, what we'll have to do is something called scraping. Okay. We'll have to scrape. So web scraping, yeah. Web scraping probably is the right word. And the way we will do that, so let's actually take one step at a time. And let's see how can we get this data. Okay. I mean, we will not actually be covering scraping, but since we are here, let's actually try that out. Okay. So what we'll have to do is we'll have to first and foremost, since this is Yahoo, I don't think they'll actually load uh, yeah, they won't load jQuery. Because if I do $.jQuery, nothing would happen. So what we'll have to do is we'll have to go by this ID. Okay, but for that we'll have to use something called XPath. What XPath? You all don't know XML. Hmm. Yeah, so let's actually leave it here. Okay. Um, yeah, all that I actually want to show you all was how do we get the data, okay, and then parse an XML object, because XML is the next topic. Um, so give me 1 second. Okay, so this is the web page that they're looking for. Okay, and then this is the grid that they're looking for. So let's see if this ID exists. So HTML, this ID doesn't exist. So what exists? Hmm. Okay, so probably this is the grid in the database. Okay, so never mind. So that doesn't help. Yeah. I mean, for us to fetch this data, we'll have to use something called XPath, and for us to understand XPath, we'll have to understand a very good part of XML first. So let's actually take it easy at this point. It's probably better not to use Yahoo. So let's actually go in here. Yeah, this is XML. Can we try it just by using file get contents? See, yeah, I mean, we are already doing that with file get contents, right? What's happening when we use file get contents is we actually are pulling the data down. Okay, and I mean without simple XML. Yeah, that okay without simple XML. But how does that change anything? Let's actually see if 68 shows up here. So let's actually do that. Yeah, if I do that, okay, all I'll get is this data. Okay, but this information, okay, okay, is part of the RSS data that is being pulled down from a different file. Okay, so for us to even ingest this, so let's actually see current conditions. Um, yeah, so yeah, I mean, Nirajan, what I'm saying is, it looks like what they do is once they get the simple XML object, they actually are going to this website again and fetching the data from this website. Okay, if we wouldn't use simple XML, or if we use simple XML, what we will have to do is make another call to this file. Okay, and probably we'll do that once we complete XML, because we'll have to use something called XPath. Okay, so we'll have to use XPath. Okay, what XPath does is, it actually looks at the document, be it XML or HTML. Okay, and it actually looks for certain IDs or certain keys in there. Okay, and then we'll have to pass in the ID. Okay, the ID or the class that contains the weather information. That is how we'll have to get the data. Okay, even if you wouldn't use simple XML, or I mean either way, we use simple XML or we wouldn't use simple XML, we will still have to find a way to get the weather information that is stored in this HTML file. Does that make sense, Nirajan? Yeah, because there is a dependency. So what they have very cleverly done is they have created this dependency that anybody who uses the RSS feed has to go to this website or like this web page in order to get the data. If not, they wouldn't be able to use anything from this file. So what we can do is, let's actually begin with XML, which is more of a bigger subject from Tuesday. Okay, in the meantime, since it's 3 o'clock, okay, I'll let you all start practicing the project part. Okay, and in the meantime, let me quickly ask you all, not that you all have had a lot of time on hand from yesterday to today, but did you all see if you could make any progress on your on what is it, on your resume, as in like, did anybody start? No. Okay, no. Okay, no problem. So yeah, I mean, since we have like 1 more hour on hand, go ahead and start your I mean, like, practice something, say like your project, or uh, make some Ajax calls or make a database or do something. And while I'm here, get back to me with your questions. So by the way, the second question would be, did are you all done with object oriented stuff and databases? Okay, how about you, Nirajan? Okay, perfect. So yeah, since you all have 1 hour on hand, go ahead and start doing that. Okay, and if you all have any questions, let me know. Okay. Hey guys, how is the practice coming along? Do you all have any questions? I'm finding the redirecting page thing. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. So let's see if I can actually pull that up. So what you have is user.php, welcome. Oh, you know what? That's you actually have that in the root. So now my mv welcome user.php. Hmm. So what that is asking for is, or what you're looking for in that pattern is, you actually are starting, okay, at like you actually are starting, okay, at the beginning, and then you are looking for slash, and then you're ending it, okay. And if that matches that pattern, okay, if there is a slash between the start and the end, you actually are routing it to Apache 2 hyphen default. But why would you? I, I mean, I don't think you'll need that code. What you need is something like this. You say rewrite engine on. I'm sorry. It's rewrite engine on. Okay. The first thing that you'll have to look for is, I think you'll say redirect rule. I don't remember it correctly. Um, should be something like that. If this is the end, okay, as in star, there is nothing after the slash, you actually should redirect them to welcome.php. Okay, it should be something like that. Okay, but what I would tell you is, try a few things. What is that? Options indexes. Yeah, see, that would only work. Okay, that, yeah, see, I mean, that would only work if you are actually putting it inside the directory. But I would say, do not put that inside the directory. That, I mean, that is kind of useful. Okay, I'll be honest here. When you want to route it inside the application. But what I would rather do is something like this. I would say Apache 2 sites available. I would say, let's assume that it's training. Okay, I would actually put it here. I would put it outside the directory. Okay, I would say rewrite engine on. Okay, I would say redirect rule. Okay, I'm sorry, rewrite rule. Rewrite rule. is going to be, if there's nothing after slash, okay, which means that the slash is at the end, okay, route it to welcome.php. And again, Munjal, don't worry about Apache part, okay, it is a good to have, okay. So don't, I would say, do not spend a lot of time figuring out what is what, because to understand Apache, I mean, it in itself is a complete different beast. That is why you have server administrators. So if you know something, if it is easy, go ahead and do it. If not, don't worry about it. Keep it simple. Line 9 for what? How do you do that parallel lines? I am so, I mean, are you talking about this one, training slash index dot php? This is a comment. It's not a rule. It's just a comment. This one is just a comment, and the reason that I'm actually putting this comment in here is to say that the server name is training.com and the server alias is I mean, the server name is www.training.com, the server alias is training.com. That's it. So I mean, this is just a comment. We can actually get rid of this one. I know, but you have used parallel lines. Oh, pipes. Okay, okay, okay. So I mean, I'm not sure. So uh, yeah, pipes. So what you have to do is there should be uh, a pipe symbol right on top of the enter button. Yeah, that is pretty much the case with all the keyboards. So you'll have to do shift and click on the backslash button to get those pipes. Yeah, man, sometimes, yeah, you miss it. Okay, guys, let me quickly ask you all if there are any questions that you all have. If not, it's already 4 o'clock, or it's almost 4 o'clock. Let's actually end the session here. The next session will be on Tuesday at 8 EST in the evening. Okay, so see you all on Tuesday at 8 p.m. In the next session, we'll actually go into XML and understand how can we use XML for data exchange. Okay,
All right.
all right, guys, thank you. See you all on Tuesday. Bye.